welcome to Grumpy Grognard Gaming. I am here, as is with tradition, with Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
You a good dude?
Yeah, I think so.
Splendid.
It's been a while.
Yeah. It has been a while since we've done one of these. You've come down to Warhammer World in the meantime. And
Technically up, I guess.
Yeah, up. It doesn't matter where it is, I say down.
Oh.
It's like, you know, I'm literally in the North Pole and I'm like, hey, come down to see me. Excellent. Yeah, whatever. So, you bought yourself a nice Mechanicus Night, which, of course, you've fully put together and everything.
Yeah.
It's all right. Your wife never listened to this in a million years. It's fine.
Funnily enough, my daughter was just saying, Father, are you a famous YouTuber? And I was like, yes. And then the wife was like, how many subscribers do you have now? And I was like, I think we are 0.6% on our way to...
Just under 600. I upset somebody with my last video when I said that Skaven Tide flopped.
To be fair, I'm surprised it's only been just one person, but...
yeah, pretty much.
And so the child was like, I will subscribe to you, Father. And I was like, you're too young to have a Facebook account, thankfully. So I'm afraid you can't, small one.
Yeah, well, YouTube accounts, you can get, you know, it's not Facebook, it's YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I'm sure YouTube would be fine. Just put the child filter on it, which means you won't see any of our stuff.
Yeah, put a child filter on, it filters out the child, so she can't see anything. Yeah, and then she went, I'll sign up on account. And I was like, I'm sure she'll love that. So not only does she have to put up with me when I'm in the room, she has to put up with me when I'm not in the room as well.
Oh dear, does this mean I'm going to have to be ultra careful and not give anything away, and I'm going to have to edit out that bit that I just said about what I said?
No, it's going to be fine. I mean, it only cost me a tenner anyway, so...
Yeah, I know, it's not expensive.
Legions Imperialis, of course, so what, 30 quid?
Yeah, Legion Imperialis nights. I wasn't talking about anything else. Crazy. So no, that was good to see you guys.
Oh, it's good to be there.
Mighty Bugman stack was jolly nice.
They have improved their menu from the last time we went.
Have they
it's
ever?
Still not quite what it used to be.
No, it used to be the mighty leather-bound tome of dreams, didn't it? And
But yeah, apparently they changed chef.
Oh, okay.
So
the food was top quality, and I was not ill off that, because normally you get the gluten-free bun. Because I've been on keto, so it was a cheat day for me. I've not been keto the last couple of days because I've got a mate coming down in a few days. So down, up, from Essex to stay in Nottingham, and was like, yeah, I'm not doing keto while you're in, mate, because I'll be drinking and stuff. But yeah, it was really nice, and it was like a brioche bun.
Yeah, I mean, you always did say that Warhammer World probably had the nicest gluten-free buns.
And that's twice now. That's twice.
Yeah.
That's twice I've had a bun and I've been like, is this really gluten-free? It tastes too much like real bread. So
next time you're there, you should probably ask them when they get them.
I did. I remember I asked that that cute girl with the... She's not there anymore. But you know, like the girl with the orange and black dreads.
Yeah.
And she said she'd find out for me, but she never did.
Betrayed! Yeah. Send them an email.
To be fair, it's my fault for not visiting often enough. But yeah, no, it was good. It was very nice. It was very busy there because there's loads of bloody thingies going on. But I think
it was a Throne of Skulls tournament.
It was something, it was something big. It was very, very busy. So we couldn't play any Blitz Bowl or anything, unfortunately. But,
I think that's a weekend thing.
Like, it is. You can't do games.
In the gaming hall?
Yeah, no. In Bugman's, you can't play games.
Yeah, no gaming in Bugman's at the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
But the gaming hall was Ramo with 40k people.
Yes, it was very Ramo with 40k people. But no plushies, unfortunately, for Mike. So I need to go to...
denied.
I need to go... No, I'll go back into Forbidden Planet on...
Tomorrow.
No, not tomorrow. I've got to get the place tidy. I was playing board game Jenga today.
I know that.
Board game Jenga and board game Tetris, because I was both stacking the board games. So like, okay, I need to move these board games from here to here, but also making space for board games. So it was like double. It's like board game reception, basically.
Yeah, I had a bunch of that with when the fam was away for them 2 weeks. I was like, right, I need to make space.
Yeah, exactly.
More things.
Well, because I ordered the X-Men version of the Zombie Side, because that was
X-Men Resistance.
Yeah, because that was an offer as well on Zavi.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It was like 68 quid, I think. I was like, yeah,
that's pretty good, because it's usually around 100 normally.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So I thought I'll have some of that. Well, put it this way, they had a copy in their outlet, and that was more expensive than the normal version. And I was like, no. So I grabbed that, and I think I've grabbed the Hydra one as well, because that looked like fun. I will probably get them all eventually, because we have a lot of fun with it.
I think I ordered the Fantastic Four one, just before the weekend, and I think that's me got the whole lot covered.
Oh wow! So you got the Sinister, because the only one you won't be able to get is the Sentinel one, because that was Kickstarter exclusive. So that's going to be
I think the only Kickstarter exclusive thing that bothers me a little bit is the boxes that they did, which have the swapped around zombies and heroes, so you actually get the good versions of the zombies and the bad version and the zombie versions of the others.
Yeah, the actual stretch goals box. But the thing is, a lot of that comes with all the bloody bystanders. It's like you're never going to use them all. Like already, I've got too many bystanders. I
don't know most of them are anyway.
I
never read comics, so I'm like, eh?
I know who they are, but I'm just like, it's not an important enough part of the game to warrant having all of these different characters, because you don't actually use them. You know, they're just effectively like power-ups that you pick up.
Yeah.
And eat.
So I guess the power-ups depends on which power-ups you want as to whether you put them in the deck or not.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm going to get probably a couple of the superhero versions of the zombies off eBay and stuff.
Okay.
They tend to be between 10 and 15 quid, depending on how popular the fucking character is. So Kirsty wants Deadpool, for example, because we've got zombie Deadpool, but we don't have hero Deadpool.
Yeah, same. Good luck.
It's about 15 quid on eBay. So I'm like, it's not too bad, I suppose. You know, 15 quid. I'm like, yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong, the guy's got the stretch goals and he's making bank by splitting it all up. But in all honesty, I don't want to spend 300 quid on the stretch goal box. No. It's got loads of characters that I don't want, so I will just lump up 15 quid for Deadpool. In fact, I need to remember.
Yeah, and the Kickstarter was fucking bonkers. I think it
the Kickstarter was fine until the postage kicked in, mate.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think it's their first Kickstarter that they did that was at COVID o'clock. And so everyone was like, "Oh, I'll put about 200 quid into that, lol." And then they went, "Yeah, postage. That'll be like another couple of hundred quid." And people were like, "Screeching brake sound." Sorry,
exactly that. I mean, because I did another cool mini or not one, Cthulhu Death May Die, which is going to arrive within the next week, which is like season 3 of that, plus the.
I was just trying to say, it's not shipped yet.
Yeah, no, it's real soon. Plus the stretch goal box that I missed out on the first time round, because I didn't back on Kickstarter the first time round, because I thought I don't really like the design of the creatures.
Yeah, it was too modern.
Yeah, it's very modern.
Not
but
traditional
then
enough.
Played the actual fucking game, because Kirsty just wanted to get it one day, and it was just like, oh my god, this game's amazing. I must have all of it, because we'll actually put our time into this. And it's a fine piece of design by Mr. Eric Lang.
Didn't he do the others?
He did, yes.
That bastard.
Yeah, that bastard evil game.
That's so odd.
And that's due to turn up, but that was ridiculous postage as well. It was like at least half of what we paid for the actual pledge was postage on top.
Yeah,
but
did it?
Because of the amount of boxes and stuff that Zombicide was, the postage just went insane. I think it was going to work out to be like nearly 500 quid. And I was just like, no, sorry, not doing that.
Yeah, no.
It's just ridiculous.
We've
got like an entire Kallax row full of Zombicide now.
See, for me, Marvel Zombies was my only Zombicide, so I was like, "I'm okay, I'm fine." I don't mind getting all of it because it's the only one I got. I never bought any of the others.
Yeah, it's not so bad. You see, I've got all of Black Plague, all of Green Horde with all the expansions, all of Zombicide version 2 that's available at the moment, including the stretch goal, which I got separately on eBay.
You didn't get Invader? Was that Mike?
I did get Invader, and then I sold it because I didn't actually like Invader. I didn't actually care for it. We've got the Night of the Living Dead Zombicide, which is really good.
Interesting.
And now I've got Marvel Zombicide, and I've got a fair chunk of that coming through. So that's like a tenth of my board games. Like,
you don't fancy Deceased?
No, DC not so fussed, honestly. Like if I didn't have the Marvel one, and I really wanted the DC one, then I'd think about it. But like. Apart from, like, I prefer Marvel characters to DC characters for the most part. I think it's got a much stronger roster.
Yeah,
the DC characters that are good, but once you get to like the second tier characters and stuff, it drops off real fucking quick.
Yeah, I think someone once complained to me that DC characters, Marvel characters, kind of have very focused powers and skill sets, whereas DC characters tend to be like, we can do everything, and it's like, oh, well done. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like you've got your Superman, and obviously Superman for Marvel came around a lot later. Yeah, they made him a psycho called the Sentry, who's got like massive personality problems because he needs to have a weakness. Because if he hasn't got a weakness, there's no point in having him in the fucking universe because he can just destroy everything. So the whole idea is that Sentry can destroy everything, and he's super powerful and all that kind of stuff. but he's also got massive fucking psychological problems. So you can beat him mentally in like 2 seconds flat by just making him doubt himself. So it's a bit more interesting. And obviously Marvel had its own version of Batman because that's what Moon Knight originally was.
It was very interesting. I watched the series of that, like the TV series.
The TV series is nothing like the comics. Nothing like the comics at all. The comics have changed a lot, but the original comics, like the, I don't know, probably 60s, I would say 70s comics, he is just like Batman. He's a rich dude who uses aliases, so he didn't have the split personality thing, he just uses lots of aliases. So he's a really rich dude called Steven something, I can't remember his name now. And he uses like the Jake alias, like the taxi driver alias, as a way to get information on a street level. Because you can't walk in there as Millionaire Steven, what's his name, because they're going to be like, "Oi, what the fuck, you're Millionaire Steven?" So he goes in there as Jake and does it on that level, and then he's got another alter ego that he uses for certain things, but he's not got the split personality. That's something that Marvel added a lot later just to make the character a lot more interesting, because, as I say, he was effectively just Marvel Batman. But he wore white and not black. Anyway, assuming we've still got somebody listening, should we get on to some GW stuff?
Yeah,
I'm not going to edit all that out because I'm super lazy. So, yeah. But yeah. I was on the side having a lot of fun. The hunger mechanic is very, very interesting.
Good. Yeah.
It's like you get all these extra dice for your attack, but then you go ravenous and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
I've got to eat one person.
I found that you have to be really careful about... I'll stop moving around now. You have to be really careful with like your hunger level. We've not played it as heroes yet, so I'm not too sure. I roughly know how power works, but I know it's not so much to your detriment.
No, it's not to your detriment at all. Power. The power is basically a resource. It's not a risk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like with the hunger, I found that like you'd pile into an area or you'd get mobbed.
Yeah.
And you'd either have your hunger at like a mid-level, or you'd put it up to there using cards or whatever. You'd roll a whole bunch of dice because you're hungry and you're the Hulk or something. So you'd roll like 3 dice doing a smash plus like another 3. And then you'd kill a few people, you'd get a bunch of hunger results, which then put you up into Ravenous.
And then you can only eat one dude.
Then you'd have to do a Devour attack. And you eat one person, which drops your hunger down to nothing, and you're still surrounded by about 5 people.
Yeah, exactly.
And suddenly you just you go back to normal, and you're like, oh,
I am weak again now.
Exactly, yeah. So you have to be quite careful with that stuff.
That's where the traits come into it, I find, because you get the traits, and you can use the traits to bump up your hunger without using an action.
Yeah,
which is very good. So. This is good. It adds something a little bit different, which is why I've invested into it, because it does do something different to normal zombie side.
I mean, me and Kiddo played it. We was at Wayland on Saturday, yeah. And we literally played like 2 games of it over the course of about 4 hours, including like a setup and just tossing about and stuff.
Yeah.
And that was with Kiddo. And she got bored and cranky towards the end, but to her credit, it was a long time to sit there and play 2 games of it back to back. Yeah, 2 might have been pushing it, but her attention was utterly held for 1 game at least. Oh yeah, definitely.
Sounds like Kirsty, to be honest.
And because there's no sound mechanic to worry about to bog down the game, to potentially bog down it, it's a lot more straightforward. So it was much easier for her to get. Yeah.
We played the second mission where you got to get into Avenger Towers,
get the 2 objectives,
and then get back out.
And that was a pain.
But we got to. We
just made it.
No, we lost badly, mate.
No.
We were up against like 50 zombies, all coming down that end. Because the thing is, by the time you've opened those other 2 doors, like the other 2 spawn points open, so it's 5 spawn points.
Yep.
And then Doctor Strange was there, so he acts as another spawn point.
Yeah, he's a mobile spawn point. Yeah, he's a pain in the ass.
So it's just like, now we're fucking boned. We're absolutely boned. So next time round,
shield agents all over the place.
Yeah, next time round, what we'll do is we'll leave 2 up the back end to kind of do some crowd control.
Yeah,
because we were just wading in, and as you say, once that hunger goes over the top and then bottoms out, and it's like, oh shit, I'm only rolling 3 dice now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the Hulk with 3 dice.
And all it takes is one spawn card that says all troopers or all specialists getting extra action. It's like, oh dear.
Yeah.
It's all over.
And it can be game over really quick.
Real quick. So yeah, but we'll play it again because it's super quick to play and it's a lot of fun. And we're not sponsored by it, but we probably should be for the amount of time we spent talking about it.
It's a Games Workshop, right?
On to Games Workshop. So we've got a preview coming up on Thursday morning, 2 a.m. BST. We will not be here live. Bollocks to that.
Definitely not.
Because they're not actually showing off a lot of miniatures. It's Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which is just going to be the Eternal Stormcast side of the Skaven. So, an equal amount of miniatures, I would imagine, which is already too many because that range is so bloated that they already killed off the stuff from 2 editions ago. So, it's just like, the last thing you need to do is add a load more, but we know you're going to add a load more. So, whatever, I don't care. I'm sure there'll be some nice looking models there, but at this point it's too bloated to give a shit. And Blood Bowl, anyway. And I can't think what they can do with Blood Bowl at this point.
No, it's already done.
Everything's done. I mean, there's got to be maybe a couple like Tomb Kings, maybe a Tomb King Blood Bowl team.
You've already got mummies in like the first Undead team.
Yeah, they're in the Necromantic team, aren't they?
But they're not actually. The Shambling Horrors. The Necromantic team, I think, was the second one, like the Halloween one.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, yeah, the one with the pumpkin scarecrows and shit.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah. In that case, I don't know. I I can't. I literally can't think of any. I mean, they could do redoing the Dark Elves because they're shit, but.
Well, you never know. Might be that.
That'd make me happy because I've been putting those off forever. But no, I can't. Short of them releasing another edition of Blood Bowl and literally just starting all over again. Maybe it's Blitz Bowl. It's Blitz Bowl coming out in the UK just to troll me.
Just to troll you, yeah.
To be fair, I've had my money's worth out of it. I don't care. I love it.
Nice.
I've been on such a Blood Bowl tear recently. I've painted up a full Orc team, a full Human team.
Was that Black Orcs or?
No, the normal Orcs.
I'm not overly familiar.
The normal Orcs that came in the first edition set, the Humans that came in the first season set. I've nearly done the dwarf, half the dwarf team that you get in Dungeon Bowl. I've done a full Skaven team for Kirsty. Been smashing them out, absolutely smashing them out. And I painted up a load of the new Age of Sigmar Clan Rats as well, and they're lovely, lovely. So so because that's all they're showing, I'm not getting up at 2 a.m. for that. I'll look at the road maps in the morning.
Cool. I've got a few teams sitting around that I need to do.
I've got loads in their boxes. I've got
like the Shambling Undead one. I've done.
Yeah.
The Orcs and the Nobles from the box set I've put together.
Okay.
But I haven't painted them up. The 2 from Dungeon Bowl I'll put together, but not painted them up.
Yeah.
Bizarrely, I found that more complicated than a normal Blood Bowl to play. And their reference sheet for it is rubbish.
It is rubbish. And it is more complicated to play because there's loads of stuff in the way.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff in the way. Because it's like, I'm going to do like a block on something. It's like there's a great big tomb in the way or something. It's like, oh, shit. And then you've got the bloody portals and stuff. Like, stuff. Yeah. So, yeah. No, it's I mean, like basically it goes like Blitz Bowl, Blood Bowl, Dungeon Bowl, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking of doing was when I come down in September... we could do a little mini Blitz Bowl tournament.
Can do, yeah.
Finally get that trophy that I made years ago to somebody. Because I mean, between us, we've got loads of Blood Bowl teams, and I've got all the cards from Blitz Bowl for all the different Blood Bowl teams. So you only need 6 people, and it'd play quite quickly. We just play like first to 10 points, which is like 3 touchdowns.
I reckon we can scrape 6 people together.
That's going to be the awkward bit. Well, no, I mean six people on a team, and then just whoever we can get to turn up on the night. If it's 5 people or whatever, then it's 5 people. But the game shouldn't take any more than like 30 minutes if we just strip down quite a lot of the ideas behind it, kind of thing, and just do like a really, really quick Blitz Bowl tournament and. Finally dish that trophy out to somebody so it doesn't sit in my house for the rest of its life. And then once it's with you guys, unless I win it, that would be the fucking irony, wouldn't it? It's like I win it, comes back and oh, fuck's sake. But
take it back with you again.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought that might be fun to do. Just get that, and then that way, hardly anybody's got to leave. Hardly anybody's got to bring anything. So I'll have a word in the team handsome chat later. Stu can bring 6 wood elves or whatever, and Mike can bring 6 dwarfs, and what have you. And it's a much easier, quicker game to play than normal Blood Bowl, which does take hours. So
fair enough.
It could be a good giggle. You can bring your vampires. Did you do your vampires?
Yes.
Actually, no, you can't bring your vampires because we didn't get cards for the vampires. Annoyingly. No, it was only up to lizard men, so you'd have to bring something else. But I've got it's about 16 different teams that are featured. It was everything up until the lizard men got released. So it's only the Amazonians onwards that haven't been covered, like the Norse and stuff like that. So I was thinking that could be a good laugh. But yeah, we've got the roadmaps. Warhammer 40,000. At this point, we are a year and a half into Warhammer 40,000 of what is presumably a 3-year lifespan. So we are halfway through its life.
I wish it was less.
Yeah. I think it is just going to be. I don't think you're going to see anything like Emperor's Children or anything like that. I think it's going to be just the other half of what you get. Probably like four codexes announced, maybe.
Yeah.
Dark Eldar would be nice at this point, I think. Not that we care because we don't really play it, but I'm just thinking, it'd be nice to see this stuff. Age of Sigmar, obviously early days for that. We'll see the roadmap. I don't know if it's going to be different from what's been shown off already. The old world roadmap for that, apparently. Okay,
It'll be interesting to see.
Chaos are out now, so what you got left? High elves, wood elves, proper undead, I think.
Yeah. Vampires.
They're not doing Skaven. They're not doing Dark Elves. It's not leaving.
The Heresy one will be very interesting.
Not leaving a great deal. And the Horus Heresy, yeah, I've got a feeling that may well be leading up to the new edition.
Yeah.
At this point. So I think, more Mechanicus would be nice, put it that way. And there's more than a few holes in the Space Marine range as well.
There's still an Arlatax-shaped hole in the Mechanicum range.
Yeah, but we haven't got any of the Mechanicum yet, really, have we? So,
The Arlatax has never had a model.
No, it's not even in resin.
No, it's been around since the first edition of the game. And it sounds amazingly horrific, like a Domitar-sized jump automator with power claws. It used to have a plasma blaster and 2 mini autocannons in the arms. I'm like, this sounds amazing. How have you not done a model for it?
Too horrific to ever be realised in reality, in physicality.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see, but I'm not getting up for it. Fuck that. I'll wake up in the morning and see it. It's not a problem. I don't see any point otherwise. I don't think their previews have been that great recently anyway. I've kind of liked the insight from the studio team, but it's all very. The Kill Team one was just kind of embarrassing.
It wasn't very insightful, was it?
Especially when it's a female character of some description. You're like, oh, she's so great. She could do this. She could do this. She could do this. And great. All right.
I'm sure she can do all the same stuff that a dude can do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, whatever. I just don't. You're trying to hype up this woman's side of it. I just don't give a fuck if it's a woman, a man, or whatever. I just. It was so obvious because they were like, oh, she can do this. She can do this. And then when they were talking about the other specialists. And it was like, no, she. And it was just like, oh, they can do this, they can do this. It's like, well, all right, whatever. I don't fucking care. I'm in it for the models at this point.
I think the most impressive thing about her was that she manages to drop using a grab shoot and manages to keep her beret on.
Yeah, oh, God.
Very impressive.
That's because she is a strong woman. And
I think it was probably stapled to her head.
They can do that. So, I'm not sure about the new Kill Team. The Vespid look nice and everything, but I don't.
I was very happy to see Vespid. Like, I've still got my metal ones in the case next to me.
No, the plastic ones look really good. They do look really good.
And the new ones I was very happy to see. I was like, I'm probably never going to use my Tau in 40k ever again, but I'm happy to get more get plastic Vespid.
Yeah, it's always nice to get new new models of that kind of stuff, isn't it?
When I get
they are old now. The old Vespid.
I can always try and transpose the Tau stuff over into 30k. During the Great Crusade, so many Xenos races just got ground into the dirt, and some of them may have operated exactly the same way as the Tau, but just looked different.
Yeah, yeah.
And come from a different place. But
yeah, I mean,
when you put them on the board,
it's a framework. You can do what the fuck you want, but it's just whether or not you can be asked to do the work when you've got stuff to already use, isn't it?
Yeah, I think in fact I was probably going to do them if I ever managed to get my Tyranid rule set finished.
But yeah, let's have a quick look at the old Wespids, because they are nice. They are very nice models. Definitely a big improvement of the old one. Not entirely sure that they're enough to convince me to buy a box game that I really don't need, that's just got scenery that I've already got and some not very inspiring looking jump scions. But would I pick a box up separately when they come out? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I thought they really should have been. I thought that would have been much better to have seen Elysian drop troops.
Yep.
Given that they vanished from Forge World a long time ago, and they reintroduced the Taurox.
Yeah, exactly. It's easier to just not Taurox, Tauros. It's easier to just
Tauros, that was it.
It's easier to just rejig a CAD though, isn't it, and just add some shit on top.
Yeah, I mean it was a drop vehicle that the Elysians used, and they reintroduced it for the Palatine Enforcers for Necromunda. So I'm kind of like, it's pretty much already good to go. Why did you not just reintroduce Elysians and give Imperial Guard?
As I say, because it's easier to take the already existing Scion CADs, rejig them a little bit, and just chuck something on the back rather than, redesign the Elysians. Plus, they obviously want Scions to be a thing. So I don't know. I don't care. I don't care for the actual models that they've done. If I'm being honest, I certainly don't care for the poses, and I don't think they do flying models right at all. The Vespid kind of get away with it because they've got wings and they kind of look like they're lighting, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the Scions, I didn't care for them at all. But they've done a nice job on the Vespids. I quite like those.
That's good.
So keep an eye.
I was quite happy the way that they kitted them out with different weapons rather than just the traditional neutron blaster. Which
well, that's a kill team thing, isn't it? They want everybody to be a little bit different, which is annoying within the rules of 40k, because when they try and adapt that within 40k, it's just like it's all.
It might be a mess,
cumbersome and everything. One thing I did want to talk about real quickly.
I was like, that one's got a flamer. I was like, nice. And then one of them had what looked like a slight variant of like the
one of them's got a grenade launcher, I think.
Yeah, the old Crisis Suit AFP, like the airburst fragmentation projector, which to any other race would just be a grenade launcher. And then they were like, rad grenades. I was like, why is radiation a thing for Vespid now?
Yeah. It's just that attempt to try and make Kill Team all different and different operatives and stuff. And I wanted to do quickly talk about the Kill Team, because it's the new version's got solo rules and co-op rules.
Yeah, so I was quite looking forward to that.
I was looking forward to that until I saw the actual rules for it.
Oh no!
At which point I decided the rules were just kind of shit. I will bring them up quickly. People can see all my new bookmarks. So I've been learning Da Vinci editing techniques. Imperial Agents, fuck all that.
You can do it. Tyves was good.
Breed. Yes, Tyves was quite good. Not amazing, but quite good. Enjoyable, I would say.
Yeah, very much so. I like the banter. Well, it was at the slightly cussy end of banter.
Yeah, it was more.
Really, the Ultramarine and the Salamander were not quite.
No, they weren't, and that was good. I like that dynamic where the Salamander was. The Ultramarine was sort of doubting the Salamander's.
Yeah.
Resolve and.
Yeah, he's like, cousin, are you a pussyhole? And he's keep saying that, and you'll find out even with one arm how much of a pussyhole I'm not. And the other dude was like, sorry about that.
Yeah. It was good. I liked it. I thought, the writing was pretty good. It was only 15 minutes. Want to see more. So,
yes.
We'll talk about Warhammer Plus in a minute, because we're going to look at the models. So, you can do co-op and you can do solo, but the AI rules were really disappointing. So the AI rules, if you look, are just this.
Oh, it just has stuff to do. If this happens, do that.
So you can game it really easily because you know exactly what they're going to do every single time.
I think the crux is going to be in the deployment and terrain then, I guess.
Yeah, I presume so. What you needed was a deck of cards that would mix things up. So you don't know what they're going to do. So you just draw a card for each model.
Or a more robust, like AI kind of table.
Exactly.
Kind of similar to what Warhammer Quest maybe?
Yeah, maybe something. Yeah, I mean, even that was rolling dice, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you had a random element to it. But with this, you just know what they're going to do every single time. A brawler is always going to fight or charge.
Yeah, this is just an if then else.
Yeah, exactly.
Sequence.
So you know exactly how to game it every single time, and I don't like that. I think that's really, really fucking lazy. I hate it when board games do it.
Position dash. I guess the proof will be in how the teams are generated and the terrain and deployment.
Yeah.
Because obviously that's going to be different every time. And I think the combinations of those will define how the team as a whole works.
We'll have to wait and see. And I presume you roll dice against yourself? Unless they come up with an app for it, which seems a bit shit.
Unless you get like your mum or your girlfriend or someone else to roll dice against you. Do you want to see me lose? Yes, your games are silly. Okay, come and roll these dice against me.
And that's how you get them involved.
Exactly. Step one.
So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed by that, if I'm being honest, because I was like, oh, cool, co-op. That means me and Kirsty could play some games, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll actually be interested in it. But as soon as I saw that, I was just like, ugh. It's very, to be fair, very basic.
That's just one bit.
Yeah, but it's the way that GW are advertising it. It's the way GW are presenting it. This is what GW are saying it is. So unless there is a deck of cards, in which case they should have talked about it, or unless there is some kind of random. But for me, Blackstone Fortress had a better system than this.
Yeah, but then it was designed around it, wasn't it? I don't think this was.
No, not at all. But if you're going to make it a feature of your game, then I think it needs to be more than this. And they say in here, oh, it's because it's meant to be really, really simple and easy to play and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, but it's too simple and it's too easy to play. And as an actual gamer who can game this in 3 seconds flat, it's just completely pointless.
Yeah.
So that's a real shame. And it says here, oh, we really mean it when we say the rules are no more complicated than that. And after a few games ushering your NPOs across the board, you'll get the hang of controlling them like it's second nature. Great. Thanks.
Then again,
thanks, GW.
Simplicity seems to be the driving force behind anything based on 40k these days. So
yeah, sadly so. We'll give it a go. I mean, they have got more to say.
Definitely.
But as far as a potential exciting co-op and solo experience was, I was just like, that's just shit.
Still, treat it as a framework. Change it if you want to.
Yeah. If they give you the tools to do so. I don't really fancy making my own deck of cards. Moving on from Kill Team, which obviously is the big thing that they're on about at the moment, so much to the point they did an entire preview show just for it. Fair enough. To Warhammer Plus, and they showed some new models. And they're alright. They're not bad. Quite like the Inquisitor one. It's...
Yeah, multiple models was a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was nice to get a bit more for your buck, I suppose. Not that it matters for me, because I'm probably not going to keep it. I'm probably going to get rid of it. These models aren't enough for me. He's alright. He's not anything that I must have. Like, I saw the Vampire from the old one, and I was like, oh yes, I need that. I'm going to make it into an Archon.
Yeah, she was very cool.
And it's going to turn up in the next couple of days, I think. Because my day of dispatch was yesterday. But apart from keeping it probably just to watch the rest of Tithes, I'm going to bin it off after that. And we'll get onto the Warhammer Plus article in a minute, because it did not impress me. You've got these models, and they're kind of cool. I mean, this guy looks kind of henchman-y, kind of inquisitory, kind of all right, but it's not impressing me.
Kind of xenomorphy.
Yeah, you can see what they're going for. I mean, it's all right. It did make me laugh that, there's now, in the Imperial Agents Codex, there's now 2 female Inquisitors, 1 male Inquisitor, and that's it. So you've got Greyfax and whatever the bird of the bloody dragon is. I can't remember what her name is. And then you've got Kotiaz, who looks like shit in his wrong trousers. Yep. And that's it. So I was like, look, you could have got this dude, made a new male Inquisitor just to fucking even out the numbers, if nothing else.
Yep. And
chucked him in as a release for that, rather than holding him back for Warhammer Plus, in my opinion. But it's a bit more exciting than the Kassakin from last time around, isn't it? So let's be honest. But I'm not blown away by it. And then the Warhammer one, the Age of Sigmar one, is all right. Again, it looks like holdovers from the Cities of Sigmar range.
Yeah. They're very bold.
They're also very, very CAD in their design. Like they still can't do faces great.
They really can't, can they?
And there's very squared off angles and very pointy and jaggedy all over the place.
Yeah,
which is
around that.
A very, very CAD thing, and unfortunate. But yeah, they're all right. It's, the Squire Udo's loaded up with loads of shit. Look at it. Fucking hell, poor bastard.
I think they're both an improvement over the previous sets. For the quantity that you get. For
the quantity you get, yes. I'm not sure about the quality on this one. It really is very, very jaggy and angular. I'm really not.
Cape.
I'm not loving it. Yeah, exactly. I'm not loving it. Do you remember when they used to do trainee models and they used to like bump them off to things like a Black Library or whatever they used to call it at that time?
No.
So you had like the really bad. I need to find it. Oh God, what's it called? Blood Quest. What they do is they get the trainees to do it. And it'd be like, not Mike McVeigh, but like the really, really dodgy fucking
trainees.
Sculptors.
Mike McVeigh.
No, he was at the time. Don't forget, he was a painter. He was not a sculptor. His models were not good.
Ah, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're good. That's right. Yeah, he was a painter, wasn't he?
But look at that. And I know the painting is not the best, but in all honesty, the model is shit.
Yeah, it's not great.
And this would be the kind of stuff that they would farm off on the Black Library releases, like the Black Library models.
Yeah.
And I kind of get that feeling from Warhammer Plus. I don't feel like the A team sculpted these.
The A team.
I get the feeling it's like
that doesn't look like a plan that came together.
No, indeed.
Although those ones, yes, but like.
Yeah, again, they're all right. I mean, they're better, but they're not great. And the painting again is really rough. I mean, look at that highlight on that dude's glove. It's fucking poor, man. So, yeah, for these ones, I would have liked to have seen this being a special character inquisitor for the Imperial Agents book, which might have made that slightly more interesting. And then this one, just, I'm not feeling it at all. Not feeling that at all. So there's nothing there really that, I would regret losing Warhammer Plus for, so I probably will bin off Warhammer Plus because looking at Warhammer Plus said here, I was not particularly impressed. So more painting guides that you can get on YouTube for free. Yay! When was the last time you watched a painting guide on Warhammer Plus, Matt?
Never.
There you go. More lore, which you can get the equal of on YouTube for free. When was the last time you watched an episode of Lore Masters, Matt?
Never.
Interesting. I have. I can't remember when it was. It was a long time ago. More gaming battle reports that you can also get on YouTube for free. When was the last time you watched a battle report on Warhammer Plus, Matt?
Probably for Legions Imperialis, just before it came out.
I remember that one. That was a good one. And actually, no, I have watched some since.
Nah.
I do quite often have one of their battle reports. No, I've not in the last couple of months, certainly, but I think I have had at least one or two on fairly recent, like a couple of months ago, sort of thing. So, and then new animations. There'll be plenty of new animated content with more episodes of the Tives to look forward to. Well, we know that's a three-parter, so there's only two more. There's only two more of those to come.
Cool.
Further ahead, there'll be season 2 of Black Talon. Oh, fucking joy. New episodes of Hammer and Bolter, which I'm kind of looking forward to because some of those are really good.
Yes, they were.
And the ominously named Kill Lupercal. So, presumably that's your lot for the year. And then, obviously, your app access and everything, which is what I think is the only reason anybody signs up to the fucking thing in the first place. They've not bumped the price up, at least. So...
yeah, I'm not sure I can get away with that.
No. So I'm kind of like, nothing that interesting, really. I mean, a couple of price. I think Warhammer Plus has always struggled a little bit, and for me, it was always like, at least I get a nice model out of it, and I'm like, I don't know. Like if I had the money knocking about, and you knock out, I think it's £50 for a year, and then you get the model straight away, and then you're only paying like £4 a month for it technically. I'd be like, yeah, maybe, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Warhammer Plus is that great. I've watched very little of it, and the level of shows that they release is a joke. Let's bear in mind that it's been 6 months since we got that night one, so it's been 6 months between episodes of anything. So I don't think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I've enjoyed what I have seen, but you just thought there'd have been a bit more of it.
Yeah, I don't feel like the quality's been terrible on the shows. I mean,
no,
the night one was a bit shit, but I'll give it a 6 out of 10 kind of thing. There's nothing been,
nice
not been anything terrible. Tives is like a solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Yes. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah. So Warhammer Plus, a little bit crap overall, and that pretty much takes us to the end of the Warhammer news, because it's been pretty fucking dead recently, isn't it? We've got an article about the Mechanicus today.
She's good.
Mechanicum, sorry, which was kind of all right, but it's basically just an advert for the book that's coming out. So
yeah. Still looking forward to it.
I suppose that's all right. And then we've got a load of cool stuff coming our way. I was very surprised that they've released the stuff from the battle group already.
Yeah.
Like, that box has literally only been sitting in my room for a week.
Yeah, exactly.
And
although, when I opened the box, I was quite surprised, because I kind of expected to have the Archmagus Prime sitting in there with the troops.
No, he's separate.
Yeah, because I was like, this is a battle force. I expect to be able to legally field a force with this.
No.
And there's no HQ.
You cannot. I've not done anything with mine. I opened it, I looked at the sprues and went, they're nice, and then just put it all back.
It's a lot of fucking bits, man.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah, it looks nice. I'm looking forward to getting it. That's why I bought it. I'm looking forward to putting it all together, but I don't know how much these are going to be price-wise. 35 quid for these, maybe.
35, I reckon, yeah.
40 quid for these two.
I haven't looked at my Castellax yet.
We didn't get a Thanasaur, sadly. But I reckon that'd be about 70 quid.
Yeah, I reckon.
Sort of warlord price. Tech Fools, 40 quid for 20.
Might be 35, 30, not sure.
Nah, don't see it being 35. It'll be 40 or £42.50.
I don't think enough people will buy them for that. Like, you don't buy a Mechanicum robot army to get zombie robots. You want the good stuff.
Yeah, but I can't. I mean, how much is you make me go on the fucking website. How much is oh god, what are they called? Help. Not Scions. Not Skatar. What the fuck are they called? Solar Auxilia, that's it. Thanks for nothing, Matt.
Yeah, no problems. I was trying to think of Mechanicum units. I was like, I don't know what you're thinking
of. So 20 of those lads, £47.50. So they're not going to be cheaper than that.
Yeah, the Solar Auxilia are that much.
So,
but to be fair, I think you get a lot more for the Solar Auxilia stuff than you do the Tech Thralls.
I can't remember. It's 4 sprues, I know that. So I don't know how many sprues this is. Have a quick look. 1 apparently. So maybe it's that 4 times. I can't remember. Again, I've got the battle group for these guys sitting in the room, not looking at them.
Just next to him.
So yeah, maybe the Tech Fools are actually the same sprue 4 times. Wouldn't surprise me. GW tend to do that, keep things cheap.
They are.
Yeah. So I imagine it'd be the same thing. So yeah, 4 sprues. Each of these makes 1, 2.
Yeah, it's 4 lots. 4 lots of the same sprue.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 5 Laslocks here.
Yeah.
So that's 4 sprues. 5. So yeah, I reckon you'll see them at £47.50. So it seems to be quite expensive to me, but
I don't think they'll be that much. No, what? They can't get away with that. They're not great.
We will find out.
I mean, like the thing is with the Solar Auxilia, the box for that is the troops that you need for the army. Yeah. Like there's no fucking around with it. You need them, so they can afford to bump the price up a little bit. Plus, you get an extra sprue for war gear and options and things like that. Whereas with these guys, it's literally just 4 of the same sprue. So you can have zombies standing there with Laslocks and pointy bits. And
we've normally got the American prices by now, but I can't see them anywhere, so...
Have you been busted again?
Can't be sure. Can't be sure. Not yet. We'll have to wait and see. I always assume the worst of GW, to be fair. So yeah, that's pretty much all of what's going on with GW, and obviously along with that, we've got the Chaos Warrior army. It's like, yep. Where's this? There we go. So underneath, Treos. Oh, and dice. Mechanicum dice.
They're bigger than I thought they were. I'm looking forward to those.
Yeah. I have so
many.
Treos
is pretty big.
So many dice. Yeah, it is quite a chunky bit of plastic kit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll say, open my box, went, that's nice, put it back. And then Warriors of Chaos. They're here.
It's longer than a Spartan.
Yeah, it is.
But not as wide.
These guys turned up quicker than I expected. There's that nice Chaos spawn you like. Yeah, no prices on any of this stuff yet, so soon, hopefully. But yeah, that's about it for GW for this week or whatever. So the homework that I gave you was to come up with some money-saving tips, because I decided that we need to get actual subscribers. So money-saving tips. I got
some.
I got 5. 5?
Yeah, I kind of got
maybe
5.
6. What we're going to do this time, though, is we're going to go alternate activation, because I've got a feeling we've probably got quite a lot of the same ones.
Possibly. I think I've revised which one I'm going to start with.
Okay. I wonder if it's the same one.
It's the one that amused me the most.
Oh, right, okay.
But it's also the one that I probably did the most when I was first getting into the hobby. Are we going for it right now?
Yeah, fuck it, why not? Because I mean, we've talked about GW. I don't think there's much interesting about the Chaos Warriors. So let's start off. I will let you go first, because I'm wondering. I'm morbidly curious to see if it's going to be the same one. And obviously, this is the bit that I'm going to cut out and put some Craven content for later. So you go first with your first one.
My first one was after buying the books, because obviously when we got into the hobby, like it was cheaper to get the rule book and find out if you actually liked it. Because I mean, I got into Rogue Trader because my mate had the big rule book for it.
Yep.
Well, technically, it was the only rule book for it, and that was all there was. He had that, and I think he might have had like the plastic marine box.
Yeah, that was it. That's all you needed to play games back in those days.
Yeah, exactly, and a few White Dwarfs and some other stuff. So when I first got into doing Warhammer stuff, I think Rogue Trader, and for maybe the 2nd edition as well, and definitely when I got back into it for 5th, I found it quite prudent in some situations to just use household items as proxy models.
Oh, proxy-tastic. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we had like a TV remote control as like a barricade. There was the classic 2 books and a book on top for a hill.
Oh yes, of course.
So you had like a 2-story hill.
Yep.
I think we had like a bean tin for like a silo kind of thing, which made me laugh when years later I went around the Worcester's flat to get a game in with him, and he literally had a stack of like 3 baked bean tins sprayed military green as a bit of scenery, which worked.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, back in the day, we used to just use books under a piece of cloth for a hill.
We just got rid of the cloth because the model slid off it.
We used to use boxes. Well, I mean, we used to. One of our favourite ones was, like when you bought a TV or a washing machine or some kind of appliance, and you get those great big bits of polystyrene.
That's right. Yeah.
And you'd be like, that's going to make a good bunker. I can use that. So that's a pretty good one, and not the one that I thought.
Two other bits on that. One was sometimes we used to use salt and pepper shakers as characters.
Oh God, this is like Neil with his fucking Araman on top of a flying base as an avatar.
But to be fair, they differentiated themselves from normal troopers by being a salt and pepper shaker, so you couldn't get them mixed up with proxies. And the other one that made me laugh was even like 15 years ago when we was at Wayland and it was like 6th edition.
Yep.
And all the new walk stuff was coming out, like the Gorkanaut and the Morkanaut. Mike wanted to test them out with his orcs, so we proxied in a Coke can.
Yep, I remember. Yeah,
and that Coke can destroyed my Onager Dune Crawler. I was very upset.
And as I say, Neil didn't have an avatar one day, so he just decided to stick Araman on top of a on top of a flight stand and use that instead. Yeah, I mean, like in one-offs and stuff, I don't think there's any problem with proxies at all. You want to try something, you don't necessarily want to drop 50 quid on it to find out if it works.
Exactly.
I ain't got a problem. If I rocked up at a tournament and somebody did it, it'd be slightly different, but you know, I don't play tournaments, so. You know.
What's this salt and pepper shaker hastily sprayed golden?
I remember.
Oh, that's Dante. Oh, well done. I think.
I remember one year. One game. I forgot to bring my drop pod, so I used a can of Relentless.
A dread pot.
A dread pot.
Brilliant.
My drop pod. So I used a can of Relentless instead from Wayland's bar area. So yeah. I mean, yeah, proxies is a good one. I think. It's not my number one, which is good. So we haven't crossed over yet.
Good.
My number one is very fucking obvious. Don't buy from GW.
I thought you were going to say steal it.
No, do not advocate theft. I busted enough fucking thieves when I worked at GW. No, don't buy from GW direct. There really is no need. There are plenty of discounters out there.
That was so obvious to me. I didn't actually put it in the list.
I thought it'd be your number one. I was like, I'm going to let him go first, and then I'm going to have to scrabble for a different number one. But yeah, no, that's my number one. Is do not buy from GW. Back in the day, to a certain extent, there were not as many discounters. GW did not offer the amount of trade varieties, and the online shopping wasn't a thing. So if I wanted something, I either had to go to GW or I had to go to Tremain's Toys down the road. Around the corner from where Lee used to live, on Jones's Corner, and they had a very, very limited selection. They had like little £5 starter boxes and a couple of the polystyrene kind of metal boxes, but very, very little. You know, the range was very, very reduced. So for the vast majority of stuff that I wanted, I had to go to a GW and pay the GW prices. These days, there is absolutely no need to do that.
Nope.
There is some items, there are, terrible English, there are some items that are GW exclusive, and for those I'm afraid you are going to have to fork out the GW prices for the most part. But you can easily put an army or something like that together without ever having to buy anything from a GW. No problem at all. And you'll save at least 15, maybe up to 20% off the prices. And, you know, it might only be 6-7 quid here, but 6-7 quid over a few boxes, that's basically another squad. So you're at least looking at like buy 3, get 1 free kind of thing. And that makes a lot of difference. And I don't think... I think it's different. Like if you're maybe first getting into it and they're doing a lot for you and they're really helping you out. I don't know if GW stores do this anymore, but we used to back in the day. We used to offer painting tutorials and gaming tutorials, and you know we do quite a lot. And the parents would reward us by buying stuff from us, and obviously you know you'd have your loyal customers as well that would do that. But certainly when you get to the grognard stage that we are, I see very, very little point in going into a GW and buying anything from there, and certainly not their website.
I mean, to be fair, like, I think when they see people of our age coming in and just looking at the shelves, they generally don't even bother coming up to us anymore and going, "Oh, what are you collecting?" And it's just like, go away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's just like, you have no power here. Your sorcery will not work upon me.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number one. Don't buy from GW Direct. There will be lots and lots of different companies out there, discounters. Hell, even a lot of stores, like actual retail stores these days, have a stack of Warhammer stuff that they sell cheaper. So Game used to, and various art shops and things like that. GW trade managers are quite good at their targeting of their independent retailer partners. So have a look, and you'll save money every single time. So that's my number one. What's your number two, dude?
Nice. My other one was kind of two rolled together by looking at it, and it was to strip and reuse old models. Whether you've like salvaged them from eBay, or whether they're like your old models from if you've been into the hobby for a while and you very first got into it.
Yep.
Or like a while back, and you know you did like a paint job on it when you were 15, and you look back on it and you're like, oh geez, like clearly doing this one as a spotted cow wasn't a great idea.
It reminds me of when I did a dark, not Dark Oda, because Dark Oda didn't exist, but I did a second edition Eldar jet bike. And for some reason, I decided to. I don't know why the fuck I did this. For one, I was a noob. I was shit at painting, but I decided to paint this jet bike in orange and green stripes, and it looked fucking horrible. Thankfully, no pictures of it ever made.
Damn.
I think I might have turned it into scenery eventually. Yeah, it was not good.
And painted over it.
I kind of looked at Sam Hine and thought, oh, I can do that, but I'll do it in orange and green. It'll look great. It did not.
That's pretty much what I did when I looked at Oyandan. I was like, I could do those in orange and blue, and I did, and it was mostly all right.
Yeah, no, that's all right.
Doing yellow.
Right, yeah. I think a lot of it was like the shades. I mean, it wasn't really like proper orange. It was like a horrible orangey yellow that they used to do back in the day.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was called now, and it was that, and like goblin green. And it was not good. It was not a good look. But anyway, carry on, dude. Sorry. So stripping and reusing models. Yeah, good.
Strip and reuse old stuff so that you've got an old model with like a new paint job.
Mm-hmm.
You can proper bring it back to life. I mean, it may be a slightly shorter model than what all the newer ones are, depending on how old it is exactly. And
what quite a lot shorter these days, yeah. But I mean,
to be fair,
perfectly usable.
When it's on the table and you're standing around or sitting around the table, looking at the whole thing in one go, I don't really notice if any of the older models are a bit shorter than the others, because you're just doing a tactical overview of the game, not criticising that one's 5mm shorter than the rest.
It's fair enough, isn't it? I mean, like, the Warp Spiders, they're still the same models from 30 years ago, and GW are quite happy to sell those. On top of that, like, they went through a stage where all their models were far too big already. Like, the Cadians were like 7 foot tall and stuff. It was just like, come on, it's a bit ridiculous. So, I think that's a good one. Yeah, I like it. My second one was, so it does lead on to yours quite nicely because you did actually mention it, buy pre-owned, eBay.
Yeah, that was one of my others.
You will get stuff cheaper. I will say, caveat emptor though, buyer beware, because sometimes you will end up with an absolute fucking horror show. It can happen. Be careful.
They're not the ones that say pro-painted by any chance, are they?
No, I mean, that's one thing. That is the infamous pro-painted thing. It's just like, this is a very, very loose definition of pro, but okay. But no, what I'm talking about, more than that, because I don't tend to buy painted models at all, because I can't be arsed with stripping them. Metal's different, but certainly plastic, fuck no. I'm talking about assembly. Not everybody puts the care into assembling their models that they should do. I have bought pre-owned models, be it off eBay or Facebook, and they have basically looked like they've been put together by a retarded chimpanzee.
Although, to be fair, some models lend themselves more to that than others. And as I've said that, I've turned around in my chair and I'm staring right at my fucking Forge World Storm Eagle.
Oh, did you let a retarded chimpanzee loose on it?
No, it's fucking awful to put together.
Forge World's a bit of an exception because they are bastards to put together. I sold my Forge World Storm Eagle because I didn't want to put it together.
Like, I love the model. It's such a pain in the ass to get right.
GW, make one in plastic.
Please.
Please make one in plastic. A fell blade too, if you would be so kind.
Double, please.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like normal plastic models where they've just not bothered cleaning them up. They've not cleaned off any of the burrs off the sprues, so the model hasn't gone together properly. I bought a Kratos. I bought a Kratos and a Contemptor off a dude. And it was about 50 quid for the pair, so I was like, that's a pretty good price.
Nice.
But the Kratos, I had to literally rip it apart and put it back together. No, it was plastic glue, so I just kind of I just had to kind of rip it apart because he'd not put it together properly. It wasn't aligned right, so I kind of ripped it apart and got away with it with the plastic because he hadn't glued it very well. But I've had stuff that's been over plastic glued, so it's like all the stuff's melted and there's plastic glue dripping down the sides. I've had the same with super glue. Just, be careful. You can save money buying off eBay, but especially with plastic models.
like the poor guy in Robocop coming out of the toxic waste.
Kind of like that, yeah. Especially with plastic models, you just don't know that you're buying off somebody who's not a complete fucking muppet. So make sure that you've got good photos. You can always ask for more photos. Not so much of a problem with metals. The other thing you need to look for, and this does apply to metals, is recasts. There's a lot of dodgy recast metals out there these days because they know that the vintage sellers will try and buy them. So while you can certainly save money by buying pre-owned or Facebook and eBay and stuff like that, just be careful, because I've had a couple of instances where I've bought stuff and I've just been like, shit. And I've literally had to salvage it. And I don't, if I'm having to salvage something, I want it really fucking cheap. And I've not got it cheap enough for it to be worth it. So, just a caveat emptor there. So what's your third one, dude?
Well, my last one.
Oh, for God's sake.
Is a bit of a cheeky one.
Yep.
And especially lack of effort. Is try using contrast paint if you want to save money. Because you buy less paint.
Yeah, no, I mean, this does tie into one of mine, kind of. But not quite the same. So, cool. Well, none of yours, your paltry efforts, have actually been the same as mine, which is quite nice. Apart from maybe that last eBay one. So, contrast paint. Okay, yeah, I get it. Because, you need less paints. You don't need a wash and a base and a layer and all that kind of stuff. You just slap it all in one. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, you don't need to get multiples of really similar colours for blending and stuff like that. It's just on it goes.
Yeah, I kind of get it. I don't... Contrast kind of works in the way that it was marketed, and it kind of doesn't. Like, it works on things like fur and armour.
It very much depends on the model.
Like detailed sort of like chainmail armour and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Not
flat
great
areas,
for flat areas and space marines. It really isn't.
Yeah.
I've got a load of contrast, and I don't really use it as directed, or as they just show you to. When we were at Warhammer World last week, I got Mike to get a bottle of oh god, I think it's Skaven Grunge. No, not Grunge. No,
Grunge.
Oh god, I'm gonna have to look it up. I am gonna have to look it up. Thankfully, I happen to be on the Warhammer website. How convenient.
Splendid.
I'm sure it's called Skaven something. Skaven Blight? No, that's not contrast. Oh, for God's sake, I'm gonna be here forever. Right. This is why I hate the GW website. So
shit.
I'll do it again. Contrast paint. Thanks, GW. Fucking fantastic. No actual contrast paint. You've shown me 6 issues of White Dwarf and 2 starter sets. The actual fuck. Okay, let's try Citadel Contrast. Fuck is wrong with this website? Oh, even better!
It's awful.
Would you look at this? Citadel Contrast. What a piece of shit. It's nearly a year old, man. So if I want fucking contrast paint, I've now got to go... I don't know.
It feels like it's been a lot longer than that.
Build and paint. I think it's November last year because it was just before Christmas. Paints.
Oh, that's right, yeah. They got rid of everyone's wish lists right before Christmas.
Filters, contrast. Right, now we're down to 61. Fantastic. Thanks. Fuck me. Absolute joke. Rattling Grime. That's the one. Fucking hell. Took a lot longer than it should have.
Got there eventually.
Rattling Grime is like it's a lovely mix in between black and brown. And I just water it down with contrast medium and kind of use it as a wash.
Okay.
And it's like Nuln Oil plus. Because it's not the black of Nuln Oil. It's got like a tiny bit of brown in it as well.
Yeah.
And it really shades things real nice.
Is it a little bit like the old Charadon Granite, that kind of shade?
Yeah, more... Well,
that was a really
more or less.
Weird colour.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Do you remember the old Devil and Mud?
Yeah.
It's a bit like that.
Okay.
It's one of my favourite paints. Me and Mike are actually going to do a video where we're going to be really sad and talk about paints and our favourite paints and the worst paints and stuff like that.
I think Mike's better suited to do it than I am.
That's why I'm choosing him for it. Plus, you only came up with 3 fucking options. It's terrible.
Because you nicked one of them, got rolled into 2, and you nicked the other one.
Excuses. But yeah, Rattling Grime, grab some, man. It's really good. Yeah, it's really good. Just water it down with either a little bit of water or contrast medium if you want it to really flow into, you know, sort of like a more contrasty way. And it is an excellent paint. So that's a good. I mean, you only did 3, but I think all 3 of yours are very good. And
Wait, it was 5 originally.
Lies.
It just didn't survive contact with the enemy.
My third one is actually quite similar. It wasn't technically my third one, but I'm going to move it up so they go into each other. And it'll be thin down your paints. Thin down your paints and also only get out as much paint as you need. It's slightly different if you're using a wet palette, which was another one that I did that I'll bring up into this one as well because it's related to paint. But if you get out a load of paint onto a palette, like a normal palette, and it all dries up, you're just wasting money.
Yep.
There's no point. So thin down your paints so they dry a little bit slower. You can use a wet palette so they dry even slower. And also only get out as much paint as you need if you've not got a way of keeping it wet longer. Because generally, unless you're doing base coating or something like that, you're only using very little bits of paint at a time. You know, especially if you're painting details, or if you're doing highlighting, particularly like edge highlighting, you just don't need that much paint. You really don't. And a low paint does tend to last a long time. And I've got paints that, you know, I've got a bottle of Mithril Silver that's as old as my time in the hobby, so that's 26 years.
You can tell it's not one of Games Workshop's newer paints because it's not fucking dried up.
28 years. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well, there was an entire edition of paint from GW that was completely useless, and it was the screw tops, if you remember those. And they were the worst thing ever.
In modern days, I had a pot of Corax White that I think I'd never ever opened. I went to open it yesterday to prime some Gene Stealers for Kiddo, and it was solid. It was just like a pot of rubber, went straight in the bin.
Some of their pale colours in particular are absolutely terrible. Yeah. Like their Racaf flesh separates pretty much the second you stop using it.
It's a nice colour though.
It's a lovely colour, but you got to fucking mix it for ages to use it, and then every time you use it after that. But yeah, thin down your paints. Only use as much paint as you need, and that will also lead on to something else a little bit later.
After your brushes.
Because, you bastard. You can't steal that, it doesn't count. But yeah, 2 things. 1, look after your brushes. So get some Master's brush soap and use that to clean your brushes.
It's
not expensive, it's like £5, and it will last you, again, forever. I've had mine for like 10 years. Use it to clean out your brushes. Also, along with the paint thing, don't let the paint hit the ferrule if you can help it, because it will fuck up your brushes. But also on the brushes, just flexing now, buy yourself some cheap workhorse brushes. Do not use your Kolinsky brushes for base coating.
For the donkey work, yeah.
It's a complete fucking waste of time. Go on Temu, whatever the fuck it's called, and buy yourself
the new Wish.
50, the new Wish, yeah. Buy yourself 50 odd synthetic brushes for like £5.
Disposable brushes.
Yeah, it's what I did. And then I just use them for base coating. And then when they're too knackered for base coating, I use them for texture paint. And when they're too knackered...
Plus, the other good thing is, with synthetic brushes, you can use like alcohol-based paint.
Yes, yeah. You can use oils and things like that if you feel like it, for doing oil washes and stuff like that. So yeah, buy yourself some cheap workhorse brushes where if they get fucked, it doesn't matter. Because you can just bin them and you're only binning a couple of quid rather than 15, 20 quid for a bloody Winsor & Newton Kolinsky, which do last if you look after them.
If you look after them, yeah.
So yeah, that's another one. Another one I had, because I am just blatantly fucking flexing now, is pick up...
I've got the last one.
Pick up bundles and starters where you can.
Yeah.
A lot of them tend to be FOMO, unfortunately, or only available while stocks last, but if you're a little bit savvy about where you shop and you know some slightly lesser known companies and stuff, there's only been one thing that I ever failed to get hold of, and that was Loon Curse. I never managed to get a copy of Loon Curse. Everything else,
I did.
I've managed to. Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, I wanted to get it for Kirsty because she loves squigs, and I really like the.
What did I do with the goblin half of mine? If I've still got it, you can have it.
Oh, cool, man! She'll love that because she loves squigs. I wanted the what they're called, Sylvaneth. But I don't like Sylvaneth anymore, so I don't care. But I like that dude. But yeah, and I was like, oh, I'll have that and the Sylvaneth, and then Kirsty can have the bloody squigs because she squig obsessed, that woman. Which is cool because she loves the hobby, even if she doesn't really do the hobby. She just likes cute things and likes me buying her sassy nurgling plushies and stuff like that.
It's a very insular love of the hobby.
Yeah, very much so.
Very focused.
Very girl level. Very girl level. She doesn't really want to do any of it or play any of it, but she just likes.
I'm going to hijack that point slightly, and I'm going to say that also includes some of the limited edition boxed games.
Absolutely.
Like Betrayal at Calf.
Yeah.
And
Blackstone Fortress.
Some of the other ones. Yep.
Blackstone Fortress.
Well, not Blackstone Fortress so much, because you can't really use the models for that in games as the basis for an army.
This is what I'm saying. So they're selling those models from those characters from Blackstone Fortress for like 21 quid each.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like, if you want Marines.
Oh right,
you could have got like Prospero or the Calf box.
And
you'd have got like 30 or 40 of the damn things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
And you could be like us and never ever play the boxed games.
Exactly
but just
that.
Use the models.
Exactly that. In fact, I need to just throw away the tiles because it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
The same happened for Overkill, that game they released with the Death Watch and the Genius of the Cult. I just got it to do a Genius of the Cult army.
I think I did exactly the same.
But no, you're right. I mean, they don't do so many of those limited edition box games anymore, unfortunately, as they used to. But yeah, those are good ways to save money. Including the start collecting sets, which have reduced, unfortunately, in value. But they are pretty good. The new Blood Angel one looks absolute shit, but some of them are pretty good. At least the ones that haven't been replaced yet. And some of the spearheads for Age of Sigmar still look good, because they're still like £87.50. They haven't had the 40k tax applied to them.
Right.
So yeah, that was my next one. Basically, where you can get the bundles, get the starter sets again from a discounter, you get 20% off. You're saving on top of saving. It's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Another one that I had, and I have only actually got 2 more. I didn't do like loads and loads and loads. Oh no, 3 more. Sorry, lied. So this one is only buy what you need. Now, this is going to make me and Matt the biggest hypocrites on the fucking planet. But to anybody who's new, who's starting out in the hobby, I don't know why you listen to us, but congratulations, you've chosen well. Like, don't go and buy like a 4,000 point army in one hit. There's just no point. You're just going to have loads and loads of stuff, and you might not use it all. And if you do sell it, you're going to probably sell it at a loss. Everybody's got a bit of a pile of shame, but just buy what you need for now. GW have made it so that there's millions of different choices per armies, and the idea that you're basically going to buy 1 or 2 of everything, and GW are going to make all the money. You don't need to. You don't need to.
Plan your force.
Yeah, plan your force first. Stillman it. Do the Stillman version. Plan 2,000 point army, buy that army, buy nothing else ever, coat it with 2 coats of varnish, and learn to use it.
Yeah.
You could do that in the old days. I don't know about these days. But yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, don't, as much as the bundle starters and everything do save you money, and they do, don't always fall into the FOMO trap and end up buying loads and loads and loads of shit. And as I say, biggest hypocrite in the world, because both me and Matt have thousands and thousands of models, but we kind of learned the hard way, and these days it's much worse from GW than it used to be back in the day.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you literally your Space Marine army was 2 boxes of tactical Marines, a Dreadnought, maybe some Assault Marines, and a Captain, and you're like, yeah, I'm done. I'm actually done. And then eventually, if you wanted to upgrade it, you might chuck a Predator in there or something like that, and maybe a couple of special characters and some Terminators, and that you really would be done. But these days, GW want you to have massive armies.
Yeah, as the game's got simpler and quicker to play, they want you to put more models on the table.
Odd that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was another one I had. And the last one with regards to models and actually buying stuff is magnetize.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't necessarily magnetize everything. If you're magnetizing tactical marines and you're magnetizing every single option, probably not really necessary, and probably not worth the amount of time to put into it for the amount of money that you would save.
Yeah.
In that case, like Max says, just fucking proxy it. Just tell your opponent in advance, these aren't assault bolters, these are stalker bolters or whatever. Yeah. It's fine. I mean, unless you're playing a complete prick, it's going to be absolutely fine. But certainly with big kits like dreadnoughts and knights, anything large, some of the monsters, for example, like Hive Tyrants, magnetize to your heart's content. You know, switch those options out. You don't need to buy 4 of the same thing to fill all the different options.
Nah.
You know, magnetize. It's a double-edged sword because you've got more to paint. But it's
not by a lot.
It's a decent. Yeah, it doesn't work for everything.
Extra arms and weapons. It's not really extra.
No, I mean it is when you've got like 8 different loadouts for stuff. I mean, I magnetized all of my Heresy Terminators, and it's just like I've now got to paint like 60 different arms. And they're like, fuck's sake. But yeah, no, seriously, guys, it will, and magnetizing is also fun. It is fun. So
make sure you. A good tip there is to mark the magnets so you know which way around you're putting them on.
Well, what I do is I just have a stack of magnets. So I have a line of magnets all together, and I just paint one end.
Yeah.
And then I just make sure that end is always facing me as I put a magnet onto the model.
Yeah.
And then it will always be right and never be wrong. And
yeah,
I won't be sad.
Do one model first, and then use that one model as the basis for doing the magnets on all the arms.
Yes.
So you just go, that one, new arm for that model, don't next arm, don't next arm, don't.
Exactly, yeah.
And then once you've done all the arms, use one set of arms as the basis for the body for a next model and just do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, don't get the polarities wrong, because digging out magnets is not fun.
It is not fun.
No. So that's another one. I thought strongly about putting 3D printing in here, but I'm not going to, because it is a whole different outlay. And we've done videos on 3D printing before, and if you want to look at those, you can find them. I might even remember to link it in the description. Spoiler, I'm not going to remember to link it in the description. So my last one is similar though, and it is that there are an awful lot of books required to play the game now. And in my opinion, these books are not worth the money. The rules constantly change. The document that you have, the book that you have in your hands will not be valid. It will not still be the right book. The Warhammer 40,000 core book is now completely useless, for example. Like, the rules have nearly completely changed. Codexes are out of date 5 minutes after you buy them. There are, and I will not detail them here, but there are ways to access this information. One of them is something that sounds quite a lot like Rahupedia, which is almost like another version of Wikipedia. And there are other ways that people know of sailing the high seas and getting these books. If you want to buy the books and you want to support GW, all well and good. That's absolutely fine. I don't think that GW make good enough books to buy, in my personal opinion. Sometimes the campaign books are a bit different. They come with a load of extra like cool fluff and stuff like that. They can be worth buying. But in my opinion, codexes are not fucking worth buying. The new Blood Angels one seems to be an absolute joke.
But then you saved it. I find that specifically applies to like the 40k and maybe AOS, but I'm not familiar enough with AOS to comment. Yeah. But when it comes to specialist game stuff like Heresy and Epic and stuff, they're a lot more resilient to this nonsense because they get far less rules updates.
They do, yeah. No, absolutely. You buy a Horus Heresy campaign book and, you know, it's not going to be wrong in 2 minutes flat.
No, and the law's much better as well.
You know, and there is some very good lore in it. Yeah, I mean, the last one I read, the Destruction of Beta Garmin, the lore was fantastic.
Yeah,
that was all I read because I don't play the game, but the lore was very good. So yeah, that's my last tip, and it's one that another YouTuber did. Like, he was getting into 40k, and he worked out the amount of books he'd need to buy to play the game, and he was just like, no, I can get these via other ways, and as I say, you know, I'm not going to say how you can get those, but they are available. And certainly in the early stages, if you want to get a codex later, absolutely go nuts. Go for it, whatever. I think codexes could personally be a lot better and a lot different. But, even generally, like, even if you don't want copies of the actual books, you can get the rules and stuff online. Like, if you get another repository of, like, a good repository of Battlescribe, for example, the rules are on there.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Like, for GW, I even think, like, if they did it so you paid £10 a month for Warhammer Plus and you got all the codexes, so you didn't have to get the app and then buy the fucking codex and then put the code into the app, that'd be great, and it's just the rules, bear in mind, it's just the rules, no lore, none of that kind of stuff, just the rules and the stats. That'd be great, because then it wouldn't matter. But I'm not going out and paying 35 quid for a fucking book that A is, you've got a Russian roulette's chance of it actually being good, and B, it's probably out of date as soon as you buy it. It's just, no, it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, some of them technically were out of date before you bought them. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely,
yeah.
Day one
Leagues of Votan.
Yeah, day one DLC.
Army, the codex got released with the army box.
Yeah,
ahead of the main release, and it was amazing, and it was so good that they nerfed everything into the ground with a big fact before they even released the codex on its own.
Yep. So the codex literally came out and it was wrong.
It was wrong,
and that's happened more than once. So so yeah, that's been some money saving tips from the Grognards, and hopefully you'll find some of those useful. Yeah. If you're anything like us, you may well have already know them, but maybe not. And if
saving tips, play Heresy instead. Just avoid the resin.
I just love Heresy aesthetic in general. The thing is, Heresy gives me everything that Warhammer 40,000 doesn't.
Yeah, like Long Tall Sally.
Yeah, exactly. You got everything I need.
Have me some fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I suppose that would be another money saving tip. Maybe is like don't spread yourself too thin across too many different games.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly if you guys have got any good tips, chuck them in the comment below. As long as that tip isn't kill your dying channel. Because it's not dying, we need 600 subscribers, I'll have you know.
It's not dying, it's still growing.
Even Matt's missus. So, good times all round. My missus is subscribed. I didn't make her either, she actually did. So, yeah.
Success.
Yeah, I guess. It's nice to have fans. So that's about it, really. And yeah, if you've got anything you want us to cover in the future, let us know, because otherwise we're just making this shit up as we go along.
Yeah.
We'll dive into the next bit of version 1.5 soon. Be that the Astromonicon or the Battle Manual. I don't know, one or the other.
We will.
But other than that, maybe GW will do something really stupid and give us something to talk about. But at the moment, it's been kind of quiet. So sort of just nervously counting down. They've got 4 months left to sort out the Amazon deal. Otherwise, that falls through.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Kind of skeptical about it now. We'll see how it goes again.
I'm very skeptical about it now. Very, very, very fucking skeptical. I really am. I think it's 50-50 on whether this happens or not now.
Yeah.
And I think there's probably quite a strong chance that Cavill's ready to walk away, having realised just how much of a clusterfuck it all is. Sadly, he's not rich enough to just buy GW, because that'd be nice, wouldn't it?
That'd be amazing. Yeah, it's always going to be tricky when you get two very influential companies that are used to getting their own way, having to do their own thing, and then there's external forces working on them to try and shape the way they want stuff to turn out.
Yeah, exactly. And GW are obviously completely new to this, more or less. They haven't got any experience in making TV or anything like that previously, which is obviously why Henry Cavill's production company is on board. But at the end of the day, at the moment, it's, they've literally got an agreement in principle. They haven't actually, as far as we can tell, signed a actual contract for production. No. So was still looking at years off if it happens. I've got a feeling it won't happen, if I'm being honest. And then they'll probably make another attempt. I also think, personally, that a live-action TV show is not the way to go.
No.
I think they should do an animated thing.
Yep.
Along the lines of like Love, Death and Robots or something like that.
Definitely.
That kind of quality.
Oh, that brings us to, this might be worth mentioning, the trailer.
Oh, yeah, Secrets or whatever the hell it was called.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called either.
That thing. Wrong. Yeah, there was only a tiny little bit of it, and it's based on Space Marine 2, so I'm like, I'll see it when it comes out. Some of the games I'm interested in, I'm quite interested to see what it'll be, but...
Given that it was done by one of the animation houses behind Love, Death and Robots, it'll be very interesting to watch.
Which is, for the most part, very good.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to the Terminator series that's coming out, Terminator Zero.
Okay.
I saw the trailer for that with the Yanks when I was streaming them from the other day. Yeah, it looked good. So I can't... But to be honest, I wouldn't be able to show it without getting copyright hit anyway. But yeah, check it out. It's called Terminator Zero. It's made by the Japanese, so it's probably half decent. And it looks like a kind of... You know the Animatrix?
Yeah.
You know the Animatrix... I can't remember what it's called, but you know the one that told the story about how the machines rose up and everything?
The horrific one, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
It's seared into my brain.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Imagine that for Terminator.
Okay.
So, yeah, hopefully it's going to be really, really good. 29th of August. I remember because it's the same day that Rings of Power comes out. And I'm absolutely not watching Rings of Power.
Same day as what?
Rings of Power. You
know that's in 3 days, right?
Holy shit, it is, yeah. So Terminator Zero's out in 3 days. I'm looking forward to it. It's Netflix. Yeah, it should be good. Should be good. I'll probably review it for my blossoming movie review channel. Because the last thing I reviewed was The Crow, and that made me sad.
Put yourself through it.
Yeah. I kind of had to, you know. It reminded me, like... Because the sequels are bad. Like, they're not, you know, the second one was okay. Third one was like almost okay.
The thing I remember from the second one was it was all rather yellow.
It was, yeah. It had a very kind of yellowy kind of palette to it, and it had Iggy Pop in it, which didn't make it any better. But the version, interestingly enough, the version that we got was not the director's true vision.
Okay.
And I've actually got, I'm going to copy it and put the link in the Facebook chat. There's actually a work print fan edit, a bit like, you know, like the best version of the original David Lynch Dune is...
No, I was never a fan.
A work print cut that a fan did. It's like that. He's kind of put a load of footage back into it, but it's still not the version that Tim Pope directed. The studio completely fucked him.
Okay.
And then the third one's Salvation, which is a prison convict. Like a freshly released prison convict becomes the Crow. And then the fourth one's just hilarious because it's Edward Furlong as the most emo Crow in the world. And Dennis Hopper absolutely off his fucking tits. Absolutely ruined. He is just not on this planet. And he's doing some kind of really weird impression of a pimp. And it's very, very odd. But the new one's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It could not have missed the point more if it tried. Like, there's no romance, there's no real love story, there's no anything like that at all. It's soulless. It's soulless. There's nothing to it. It's really gory and violent, and it's like, that's never what The Crow was about, you know. It's a love story, and in this, the love story is just practically non-existent. It doesn't help that FKA Twigs, who's a singer, can't act. Who? FKA Twigs, yeah, that's her name. I don't know why.
Sounds like a waste of Bill Skarsgård, if you ask me.
It's an absolute waste of Bill Skarsgård, mate. Absolute waste of his talent. But she can't act to save her life. Her most convincing scene is as a corpse. FKA Twigs is a appropriate name for her because she acts like a plank of wood. It's awful. It is awful. It's very, very, very bad, and not worth watching. Don't go to the cinema to go and see it under any circumstances. It'll be on streaming in about 3 weeks, and then maybe watch it if you feel like watching something that's really shit. But yeah. So I guess that's about it from us this week, Matt.
Yeah, I think it is.
We'll get this edited and get it out to the to our victims, and hope they enjoy it.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, I like it. I used that in my Crow review video because it's good. I'm actually going to do a video on my channel, Critical Reviews, if anybody wants to check it out, comparing the original, the remake, and the graphic novel source material.
Ah, nice.
Because I know the original wasn't absolutely true to the source material. It was like maybe 70%, I reckon, in total.
Maybe, potentially not even that.
There was an extra character, and they were murdered in a different way, and stuff like that. But broadly, it was the same. Let's say 60%. We'll just say 60% because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that probably works.
Because the remake's 5%.
Oh no.
5%. There's one panel, and it's kind of got the skeleton cowboy in it. Kind of, but not really. 5% is being generous. So yeah, it's bad. But I'm going to do a video comparing the graphic novel, so the source material, the original 1994 adaptation, and then this appalling remake, which does sadly completely waste Bill Skarsgård. But yeah, that's it from us. So
I look forward to it.
We'll catch you next time, I guess, unless GW do something stupid in the meantime.
Yeah. How do you steer this thing on a wet street?
Pure talent. Right, I'll catch you later, dude.
Cheerio.
And we'll see you guys later as well. Bye.